Hello and welcome to the inaugural podcast of the Vherbal and Watson Show.
Yay!
Coming live from Toledo, Ohio.
Yeah.
Home of glass.
Yep, glass. That's about it.
And whatever Detroit gets sick of comes here too.
Yeah. Well.
Anyways.
Exactly. There's the other things about today. Today is known around America, and I doubt other countries recognize
National
it.
Beer Day.
Yes.
Beer Day.
Just so happens to be something I enjoy very much. And Ryan partakes.
Now, is that National Beer?
Beer. Just one particular, I guess.
Just one?
I don't know which beer.
What is the National Beer? I don't even know.
Well, it's up for debate. But, it's good to have that for us because we will always remember when the first day was.
Yes.
And just so happens I will probably drink every time we do this.
What are you drinking today?
I am drinking a nice Imperial Robust Porter from the Rivertown Brewing Company called Roebling. It's very oaky, nice and brown. I like it. Tasty. And it'll probably get me talking weird towards the end of this.
Light or dark beer?
It is very dark. A porter is a dark beer.
Oh, yes.
So it's probably going to help things throughout and smooth out this whole process. So, what are we doing here? Tell the listeners what we plan on doing here with this podcast.
Well, we're going to hash out our own issues and problems with each other. Save ourselves on some therapy.
Yeah.
Attempt to banter with comedic flair for the audience and listeners, if we have any.
Yeah. I'm going to practice my jokes.
Yes.
I have a lot of jokes. And the backstory really...
Oh, actually, fulfilling
you're
our
interrupting
dream.
me. We're off to a bad start. You just stepped on my toes.
That's what I do.
Now we're already having problems.
Better than dead air.
Yes, I guess you're right.
Anyhow.
You win.
I've been a podcast fan for about 5 years now.
Yeah.
And I've been nagging you to do this for eons.
5 years.
Yes. Your trade doesn't allow for much opportunities to have time like this. So,
well, I figure if there is a time, it'd be now. You know what? We are both divorced recently and
living together.
Yeah,
roommates.
We're roommates, and we're living like we're in college, but we're like old.
Fraternity of middle-aged men.
It's actually been fairly interesting so far. We'll admit. More action-packed than sitting alone and trolling dating sites and Amazon.
Yes, 30 years of age was like a reawakening.
I don't even remember that. But it wasn't that far away.
Mm-mm.
But that's kind of the premise of this. He actually knows what's supposed to happen here, and I'm just here to make it not sound terrible. And maybe like...
There's nothing really necessarily that's supposed to happen here because there's so many different varieties of podcast.
Oh, I guess, there's no rules.
No rules.
There's no rules where we're going.
I think originality would be the best, but just being yourself, I think, would be the best key of doing that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, being yourself. Who are we? We forgot that whole part.
My name is Ryan Watson.
Ryan Watson.
And this is Kevin Vherbal.
Yes, that's who I am.
Yes.
And what do you do for a living, Mr. Watson Ryan?
I am a connoisseur of the baked product of Toledo.
You bake things?
I'm a baker.
Yeah, nice.
Yes, and fledgling writer and musician in my pastime.
Oh, yeah, I am Kevin Vherbal of the Anno Domini production team based out of London, and I also have the Music Weapons software company that I started and do all the dumb stuff for. But yeah,
right on.
We have the opportunity to do this, so we might as well. And I guess the best train of action here would be for us to start addressing things that may be comedic, possibly.
They could be.
Maybe it's funny, maybe serious, maybe sad. Don't want to try to get into sad, but what are you going to do?
Well, before we started this podcast, we both were told by one another to come up with a topic or two, bullet point perhaps to launch off of on this.
Yeah, I wrote mine on a empty receipt at the bar.
Indeed.
I'm taking this very seriously.
Well, at least you put pen to paper.
I had it laminated.
Indeed.
And bronzed. And now I can't read it. Okay, so what do you want to talk about? You got something?
Well, earlier tell me about Subway.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, I guess... All right, I wasn't going to try to address things so broad and silly, or even it being a company or something, but I feel like Subway has almost transcended just being a sandwich or a company. It's almost like...
Way of life.
Yeah. And beyond that, people are very polarizing about it. Like, you love it, you hate it, you drink the sandwiches all the time.
Do you think Jared's reached the iconic status of Easter Bunny or Santa?
I think people forgot about him already. I think he's gone.
Jared?
Yeah, they don't use him anymore. They're like, you're boring now, Jared. But the things I wanted to address was, my life is pretty simple, not nothing crazy usually. So that's usually a big part. Like, almost every day I get a Subway sandwich, and I'm not even doing this to like get marketing money or anything. But literally, I wake up usually, and then I start thinking about the sandwich I want to eat. And there was a couple parts to this. Now, this seems just wasteful and not very green, the whole process, because they know I want the sandwich. There's no reason why. I mean, how about some subscription type of system? They don't deliver. That sucks. So I'm wasting my gas. I'm making a carbon footprint and doing all these things to go get this freaking sandwich. And it's usually the same exact thing every day. So why don't they just deliver it to me? Just I don't know. Have somebody do it. I think there'd be people open to it. Like, it's just a daily. It's like the newspaper.
So Jimmy John's, but Subway.
Well, yeah, but you get it. It's no matter what. It's like the newspaper. That's what I'm thinking. Like, you get it on your porch or something.
So a monthly subscription to Subway?
To Subway.
Yeah.
And they just give you your sandwich, and then you're like, oh, yeah, there we go, right on time. And beyond that, really, just because I go so much, because I'm lazy, and obviously...
So basically Meals on Wheels with Subway.
Yeah, that's the business model. I know there's ways for me to get it, but there's more to this now. I wasn't just saying it because of that. Now, if you have a place that you go a lot, like I do with my local Subway, you tend to start to build a relationship with the workers. Now, you see them come and go, so you might be like, oh, that girl was kind of cute. Where'd she go? Mm-hmm. She knew just how to make my sandwich.
High turnover rate in the Subway industry.
Yeah, and as we know, like a girl's ability to prepare your sandwich correctly is high up on a lot of guys' lists. I mean, personally, that's like third.
Well, as soon as a Subway worker masters the art of sandwich making, they're already shipped off to their next position.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, though.
Could be Congress.
Congress. Well, I just was realizing that, like, because I have different relationships with every employee. Some of them are just mean and don't even try to talk to them. Don't ask for more lettuce. I ain't got time for that. Oh, what the hell? And I said this to one of these girls, and I noticed the people in front of me. There was a very polite, kind, little petite girl getting her sandwich, and she almost seemed like she was imposing, like, no, can I please not to bother you, but can I have more onions? I feel so bad. But they don't understand. They get paid by the hour, so you're sitting there thinking, like, what do you want? I mean,
you're putting them out by that, though.
What do you mean?
They are so put out whenever you ask for
Subway's really going to have it. I don't think the company's model is going to make it.
The one thing I hate about Subway is, say, like the standard is, say, a handful of lettuce, right?
Yes.
What if the manager that is training on that day shows them and he says one handful, but he has these huge fucking mitts, these beast hands, and then like the little girl behind the counter has these little dainty baby tiny hands, and she's like, I'm only supposed to give you one handful, but it doesn't even equal nearly half the sandwich, and then she's arguing with you because you want more.
Well, that's the kind of things, the dangers that you deal with in your produce costs. Could you say
that's the Subway it is?
No.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh.
You might as well just work for their marketing team. But I mean, I'm not going to.
I'd bring Jared back if he's gone.
Well, maybe Jared's gone for a reason. Maybe he stopped wanting Subway. Maybe he's eating like freaking Quiznos now, and he's really fat again.
Well, Michael Phelps was a spokesman for them, wasn't he?
Yeah, I feel like that had a lot of connections with the weed. Like he was just high and.
Did you hear about was it accosted by a dominatrix that he paid for? You know,
I don't know what accosted means.
Well, she like did violent sex and things to him that he wanted, and she pissed all over him and stuff.
Speaking of Subway,
yeah, Michael Phelps. I'd like to see Jared and Michael Phelps get into a fist fight. That'd be a great national event.
What was it? Celebrity death match.
Yeah,
Michael
but
Phelps.
Sponsored by Subway.
I don't know if they'd be a part of that. They're a wholesome, blood-sucking corporate entity. They just want us to they feed us like cattle and ship us off to weight loss camps.
Sounds about right.
But yes, sponsored by Subway. Now this is I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. But there's a lot to this. Like I when I told you I had this idea, you thought I just was going to be like
want a subscription
sandwich,
to Subway sandwiches.
Yeah, the relationships that you build throughout your experiences as a Subway customer, those are, I mean, they're like second tier relationships.
Are these relevant to one another? Or are these separate things in the Subway world that you've noticed?
There's more. There's
should there be a guide to Subway?
I don't know. I mean,
like a pamphlet.
It wouldn't be really long.
Like customers to
a
know
pamphlet,
by?
Yeah. Pamphlet. It could fill a pamphlet.
And then a petition sheet on the back that
just write it on a flatbread, bro.
Well,
in
the back
mayo.
you have your petition for the subscription.
Oh yeah, a petition.
Yeah, instead of those Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and who are the other ones? The ones that don't have birthdays?
I don't know. Redheads?
No, Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh.
They have those people who stand outside, you know, petitioning their beliefs on everyone all the time. And actually, remember where that lady was when she accosted me?
What?
That's my word of the day. Where were we when I got the pamphlet for the Jehovah's Witnesses? Subway.
Oh shoot! That was just plot. That was a good marketing ploy to me.
Yeah,
but that was a Subway in a Walmart.
But see, they're already using Subway as a distribution center for their propaganda. So we can make these Subway pamphlets and then hand them out to people.
You have big dreams.
Big dreams.
Nice. You have a vision. I see it. And
what was the furthermore part of your story?
I mean, I could go on for days. It's a big part of my life. I spend roughly like 10% of my life in a Subway, which could be eliminated with the subscription service. You know, I could be curing cancer.
True.
I could be like building a house, like a card house or something, or playing dominoes with the monkey. But that last thing was, I crossed the line. Okay, you're not supposed to talk to these people apparently as real people. I don't know why. And when you do, they're scared. They're like, "What? He's not talking about lettuce or onions."
But they're not trained for communication,
social interaction beyond the ingredients. They don't have no other topics.
No way. No, because as soon as they're trained and they put on that uniform, their brain is just become Subway.
I thought to myself as I was going towards the end, and this is someone that is a constant part of my life, someone that is always there during the same time. And I said to her, first time I ever talked to her after like 30 times of her, and I said, I feel like I'm not doing the Subway diet right. I said, I'm not losing any weight. In fact, I think I've gained it. And I'm thinking like, maybe I shouldn't have extra mayo and double meat and cheese. Maybe I shouldn't eat a foot long and then 2 bags of chips. And I don't know if that's part of what Jared was doing.
No, I think there's only 1 or 2 sandwiches that are for that regimen.
Yeah, she said the same thing. Like she had a little bit of weight on her too. She was like, "Yeah, it's not working for me either." Which she was a good employee because she in turn flipped that to an upsell. She was like, "Did you try the chicken tortilla sandwich?" And I said, "Yes, I did."
You know, we want you to be skinny, but we don't judge you if you're fat.
Yeah, we don't.
Here, eat more.
Here's more. Do you want another sandwich? She literally sold me tried to sell me an extra sandwich.
Yeah, and the new bread comes with jalapenos and cheese melted into it and everything already.
Yeah. Anyways, that was my whole idea with Subway. So I thought it was a good thing to address because it seems, isn't it like it's approaching Walmart status now?
Well,
like,
it kind of gives a glimpse into your life.
It's crazy. It's real nuts. But I read into things, and most people just go get their sandwich, go about their day, and read Facebook all day. But I read into these people. I'm in their minds. I know what they're thinking. Well, I won't go any further. I feel like I should ask you a question, sir.
What do you have in mind?
I would like to know, because you're being very secretive about your bullet points. You're being strange, and it was kind of creeping me out.
No, not secretive. I just didn't want to have a prior conversation before the recording in case we said something interesting.
So is that how they do it in the industry?
I don't know how anybody else does it.
The podcast industry.
I think a lot of it is off the wing. They just wing it. They don't want to waste or, plot too much or rehearse.
Well, what were you thinking? What do you got?
Well, today in the news, I heard there's a new show on Netflix recently, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
It stars the receptionist girl from The Office. I can't think of her name offhand, but it's Tina Fey's one of the writers and producers of the show.
That girl that's kind of cute.
But there's a character in the show that is a parody of a realistic plastic surgeon in Hollywood. And this morning, he killed himself because of their parody of him on the show.
Jeez.
So in my head, I know the first thing I think of, that sucks. But now I'm concerned that with all this talk of bullying and things like that, when are they going to say that parody itself is bullying? And, where are they going to draw the line between those two things? Because parody has been a part of Saturday Night Live's humor forever. Every president's been joked upon. They have countless... being someone else as an actor and pretending to be someone else is part of comedy almost. And it's its own form.
Yeah, it started with just regular
Mad
impressions.
Magazine is all parody. There's so many different mediums for that type of satire and political comedy and all that. And now people are actually going to start looking at it, I'm afraid, as a form of bullying. It's a PC world we live in where none of this can even be happening anymore.
Well,
it's just a fear.
That's crazy.
But I'm just curious to think, like, as do you see a difference between bullying, picking on a kid or someone at your work, any different than picking on someone in the public light? What gives those people, basically, I don't think bullying is great because it's not good at all. But the thing that's odd to me is, why do we allow one and not the other? When I feel like, people get tougher by dealing with those situations.
You can't see the distinction between picking on someone and being blatantly just teasing them. Like, there's a difference. Like, I'll tease my buddies and just say, hey, happy birthday, you're 35, here's a walker.
I understand. I understand that bullying is like a repetitive, nonstop, daily part of your life that drives you to like the brink of madness, for those people. That's not what I'm referring to, but even just calling somebody a name in passing is considered bullying and grounds for dismissal from school nowadays.
Well, schools are touchy. You know how that is.
But even in the workplace, even anywhere.
And yeah.
Even if I was to go to the store and say something like, yo, you fucking asshole, that could end up being a form of slander.
You might get arrested for being a terrorist.
You never know. So in my head, I think that like pretty soon Halloween costumes will be banned. No more satire, no more parody, no more nothing.
So you're basically you're taking this individual...
I'm foreseeing a PC future that's worse than it is now.
They're going to censor us.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know.
Man.
I think that when that guy committed suicide, they maybe should have not said why he did it. They shouldn't have aimed it at the show, because that's just opening up a can of worms now.
Well, if it was known that that's the reason he did it, shouldn't...
He's mentally ill, obviously.
Well, yeah, you can't take something like that too seriously. Most people are happy, or they're just
that's like every
mentioned.
Roast that we have of anybody. That person's going to go and kill themselves after the roast.
Well, the thing about this is, in the parody situation, is it falls under the pretext where any publicity is good publicity, and at a point, especially with these famous people, they're just happy to like, oh, I'm famous. They're making fun of me on SNL.
Yeah, you would think they'd be flattered.
That's how it usually is.
Like,
but obviously,
say,
what you're saying, this guy was very fragile. So
I guess so.
I mean,
but he was a millionaire. He worked on celebrities all the time. You think he'd be ready for that world. It's not like he just was some guy. He was a celebrity in his own right.
Oh, well, that's really deep and interesting, actually, opposed to you really make me feel really inadequate.
Well, to me, those are things that do bug me, and it's also a headline in the news I saw today, so I pulled from both.
It was a little less lighthearted on sandwiches, suicide. Which one should we go with?
It doesn't necessarily have to be deep, though. That show is hilarious, by the way.
Sandwiches and Suicide?
Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh.
The Unbreakable.
I thought there was a freaking show called Sandwiches and Suicide.
That might be a great hit.
Sounds like it'd be on after Hoarders.
Sandwiches and Suicide. He was so hungry to get that sandwich that he couldn't live a moment longer.
Hey, let me get an extra side of razor blades.
He ate 47 sandwiches and died. Right there, in the sandwiches. It was suicide because he ate the sandwiches, but no one, not even him, wanted to die that day.
They were a happy couple, just like any other. Nobody could have known the trouble ahead. Hey, honey, I'm home.
How was work, sweetie?
It was good, but I'm starving.
Why don't you help yourself to something in the kitchen?
Hey, honey. What's the mayo and peanut butter doing on the counter?
I don't know. That's strange.
Panic set in as the answer enveloped him.
No.
My brother!
No!
You're making sandwiches for my brother!
I'm sorry. He came over to see you, but you were at work. I'm sorry.
He's the only mayo and PB eating son of a I know.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it.
I can't share my sandwich with another
please,
man.
Don't put it away.
I just can't.
No, I'm sorry.
It's over.
No.
It's over. Next week on the Ferguson Ultimate Extreme Network, Suicide and Sandwiches.
Hello and welcome back to the show. We took a brief intermission to get high. National Beer Day. Yay, National Beer, but I don't drink that much. Even though I had a beer earlier, a left-handed milk stout, I believe it's called.
Yeah, that sounds gross,
it's
actually,
delicious.
now that I think about it. Oh, yeah. I gave her the old left-handed milk stout.
That's my favorite move, actually.
Does it work?
It does.
I get it.
Yeah, when she
I
milks
get the allure.
Yeah, she milks my stout.
Oh, jeez. You're
Anyhow,
like Carrot Top level comedy at this point.
I have no props.
Well, you don't need them.
That's what makes them successful, so my comedy is failing miserably. Anyhow.
It's purely audio.
Today at work, though, I was thinking about the failure of Disney to create a proper live-action movie based on one of their cartoons.
They've been doing them.
They did Cinderella. They did that weird Maleficent, if that's based on one.
I don't know.
And they have the Sleeping Beauty one coming out, I believe.
Well, that sounds awesome.
I know there's one other one in there, too, I'm missing. Anyhow, I think that they should recreate Toy Story. Live action.
That sounds fun.
The characters of Toy Story realize that they are in animation.
But they're not. So, because it's live action now. So then, are you going to transition back and forth to animation?
It starts animated.
And then they realize they're real?
And it's both, like Lego Movie. Have you seen the Lego Movie?
Yes.
Okay. So you know how they have the good transitioning between the two?
Yeah.
Anyhow, it starts off with the Toy Story characters realizing that they are not real. They are an animated movie. And these voices that they have are someone else's.
That sounds like horror, like terrifying. Like, this isn't my voice. I have no control over my life.
So they figure out a way, which I have not yet figured out, or something happens to where their character minds are transposed into the actors' bodies in real life. So Tom Hanks is Woody now, walking around at his age, acting like Woody. And then Tim Allen is doing whatever as Buzz Lightyear, running around like a madman.
What is it? From Infinity and Beyond.
Yeah, but he's old and he's an actor in Hollywood and he's running around acting like Buzz Lightyear, and all of the cast is like in the bodies of their people, like the guy from Cheers, Cliff.
Oh,
so you got Cliff and Tom Hanks and Tim Allen like in a bus going ape shit down the highway.
It's a tiny bus.
It's like the Dream Team, that movie with Christopher Lloyd and Michael Keaton from the 80s.
I miss that.
Oh, that's a killer movie. It's like they are loony bin people that get let loose in New York City for the day. But don't you think that'd be a successful movie?
I don't think it'd be successful. Well, it might be successful, but just the logic of making it come to fruition just seems insurmountable.
I actually tweeted Disney.
You really did?
I did.
Well,
I got favorited by
Disney?
By not Woody Allen.
Really?
Yeah, or Woody, whoever that guy is.
What? That doesn't mean
fake Woody Allen.
A fake Woody Allen.
I made the big time, man. The fake Woody Allen liked it.
It's always nice when you get that, that sense of recognition and, I made it.
I know. I get followed by a lot of people with Middle Eastern names with characters I don't understand.
That means they're probably not real.
Oh man, Twitter is amazing.
Yes, it is. I actually
Speaking of Twitter, we have to set up the Vherbal and Watson Twitter page later this week.
It's going to be
by the time
hard
this
to
airs,
do.
it should be up. I would hope.
Oh my goodness, it's hard to make a Twitter. It takes a long time.
Well, to create another email account takes
it doesn't.
A whole 15 minutes.
Dude, I'll get it done. Don't worry.
Well, by the time this is up, it should be up and running.
Yes, definitely. Every aspect of this will
And I'd like
together.
to give a shout out to all the fellow ants of the Tell 'em Steve Dave fan base, which is my inspiration for doing this podcast. And I would hope that they would follow us and possibly listen to the podcast as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know them, who they are, but you say they're movers and shakers. So you guys seem sweet.
That's about all I would have to say. I would like to hope that there's a similarity between the two in theme and mentality.
So you've been using everyone as inspiration, essentially?
No, finding your footing is going to take time, but I think for a first podcast, I don't know.
Don't worry about it.
Talk about those kind of
things.
Don't
worry about it.
Now I feel awkward.
But I actually thought of something funny because you were talking about Twitter and following, and we'll address this down the road, but my Facebook is not like a normal person's Facebook. I don't really know anyone. They're all people that are customers or clients or something, and generally most of them are just not good people. And but I get a lot of, it's basically like glancing at a text version of a Jerry Springer like full featured film or something. It's like hearing all the things. But anyway, sometimes I get some funny things on there, like having just the ability to if you take Twitter and Instagram and stuff and you made it a physical thing. Now just imagine Twitter, you're following people, you want to do that. But imagine if it was like physical and you are walking by, say, a girl and she's cute and you follow her.
Yeah.
So you just veer and start following her in real life. And then you like her photos. And
that sounds,
it sounds
menacing.
I know, but that's what's funny about it. Yeah, exactly. If you take all of these kind of undertone-ish social signals that we send on all these things we do, if you make them seem like a physical action, they really seem creepy, and it makes us all look like stalkers. Like, I'm following
this. That should be our next social media site we'll create.
Stalker.com.
Voyeur Party.
Or something like that.
Voyeur Party.
Yeah.
Yeah, just watch us. Let me watch you live. I'll never comment.
Never comment, just watch. Liked.
I'm a conscious observer. Yeah. Those words are so difficult to pronounce.
That's not a hard word. Observer.
Okay,
there you go. You're fine.
I got it.
So, your whole little thing with the Toy Story, that was pretty funny because I was thinking about it in my head and I'm like, this reminds me of something.
Oh, you know what it reminds me of?
What?
Plane crash. Did you hear about the Harrison Ford plane crash recently?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember. That sounds totally crazy, though.
Yeah, it is. A World War II era plane crashed into a golf course with neurosurgeons awaiting on the hole below.
You said he was in the tree or something?
He was in a tree above him with a broken pelvis.
You say you all...
He is the Mr. Glass now because he broke his leg months back on the set of the Star Wars movie.
Okay.
And then he gets in a plane crash for the third successful crash. The third
successful.
time. Yeah, successful crashes.
Successful failures.
Yes. When you can walk away, it is a successful fail.
I guess in theory, I mean, you would...
He glided to his almost doom.
He was like, this is exactly what I planned. I planned on this, and World War II, you know, memorabilia, I just wanted to crash it.
It might have been the plane from Indiana Jones. For all we know.
It was a scene. Maybe he was enacting a scene in his head.
Anyways, you might have remembered him for his role in the movie Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah.
That was probably one of his opening roles, but they're doing a sequel to it. And now with a broken pelvis and inability to walk, I'd like to see Harrison Ford's next movie. It'll just be like one of those heads from Futurama of Harrison Ford on a CGI body running around.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like he's going to do much blade running.
No.
He's going to be...
He could sit in another plane and possibly crash that in the next movie. They'll just use old stock footage of his actual documentary.
How about this?
Footage.
I'm going to pitch it to him. Plane crasher. Sounds better. He's really good at that.
Mm-hmm.
He'd probably do well. He would just be playing his own character, similar to like Will Ferrell does.
Yeah, he's so old. I think it's about time to just like go sit in a chair.
He looks rough. He looks...
Yeah.
He's getting that those wrinkles upon wrinkles, and he looks like one of them like old cartoon dogs with the kegs like around their necks.
Are you a fan of Star Wars?
Well, yeah. I mean,
really? Have you seen all the movies?
No, not all of them, but I'm not...
There's only 6 of them, not all of them.
Oh, only 6 of them?
Yeah, but they've been out for...
Well,
since
cool, that's awesome.
Forever.
It doesn't mean I don't like them because I hadn't seen all of them.
I've seen them all, but I don't like any of them.
Well, that means we're completely different.
I couldn't get into it, or Star Trek.
I really was into Star Trek, though.
And you like Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar, yeah.
And were you a fan of...
yeah.
What's the other spacey one?
Which
Doctor
one?
Who.
I kept trying, you know. The fact that I liked Battlestar Galactica just told me, as a human, I'm supposed to like Doctor Who. And I got into it. I just couldn't get past the first few episodes. I was like, it's cool, but...
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the kind of person that can almost find good in anything. But I don't know if I'm, like, against other countries or something, but I'm like, these people aren't American.
That's funny.
They don't deserve my viewership. It's the same goes for that other Office. I'm like, the other Office is probably great, but I could never watch it because I'd be sitting there like, where's Steve Carell? You know? It isn't the same. It's okay, though. Don't get me wrong. We all enjoy spending what free time we do have in between entry-level jobs, posting Facebook statuses, sending tweets, Instagram and Vine clips. But I can't help but feel there should be more. Ferguson LifeCams eliminates the middleman and any guesswork as to what you enjoy, are thinking, and are currently doing. With 7 high-definition wireless streaming LifeCams attached to you, privacy and obscurity are things of the past. Our patented thermal imaging underwear cams, omnipresent tracking drones, and accompanying thought cams included in each standard package. But why stop there? For a limited time, you can add 5 of your Facebook friends to our involuntary surveillance subscription. Act now before it's mandatory. Ferguson Life Cams. And we're back. Sorry for that delay. Somebody did something totally ridiculous, and I don't want to talk about it. But I want to transition that, even though it has no relevance to what I'm talking about.
Yeah, lay it on me, brother.
I'm going to lay it on you.
Lay it on me.
Okay, so when I was in college, I lived above some microbreweries, which did a tribute to my alcoholism.
Where was that at?
That was in I was in St. Paul at the time, yeah. Downtown St. Paul.
Right on.
Living above the bars.
My brother lives in Minneapolis proper, I believe now.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
But the whole premise of this is I lived right over the bar that did...
Did you live with my brother then?
There was... No, not at that time.
No. Anyway, for a backstory, Kevin and my brother moved to Minneapolis. Or Kevin
went
moved
first.
You went first, and then my brother tagged along.
Yeah.
And they were never even close when they lived together here in Toledo. So the fact that my brother took that leap and married an ex-lesbian is kind of interesting.
Are you calling me an ex-lesbian?
You guys got married?
No.
No.
But,
Amy is awesome, though, but
yeah, she's cool.
I guess my brother
That wasn't very nice. You're mean.
Why?
I guess you're not
was
mean.
she not a lesbian, or
It
was
was
she
just
bisexual?
the tone.
Was she bisexual?
Apparently, she's with a guy.
Prior to my brother.
I don't know much about this stuff, so
I only
I'm not
go
the
off what I've
source.
been told.
Check her Facebook.
Well,
What
my
are you
brother
gonna
is a
do?
little bit effeminate, so it's okay.
Well, back to my story. You're totally derailing my magnificent tale. Now you're quiet, so there. I'll talk.
All ears, buddy.
So I lived above these microbreweries. Well, one was and one wasn't. I lived across from Great Waters, which was a great little microbrewery, and I bought growlers like every day, and they called me the Growler King because I had like 30 of them at my house that had fruit flies in them, and
So you were drunk, you were saying.
was very drunk. I drank so much to the point where I'd earned a nickname, which
Yes.
it wasn't that good of a nickname, but anyways, I lived above the place that had the karaoke every night and was right above it, right where my head's sitting, and my ears are even aimed directly at probably the speakers. So a lot of times I find myself just gravitating down there like, well, what's going on? And that was kind of the beginning of this whole like karaoke experience. As a musician that has attained a small amount of success, it's a very weird paradox, like getting into that world and seeing just, the karaoke superstars, the weekend superstars,
Yeah.
and just seeing how it makes them feel.
My
and-
ex-wife was the
Yeah.
queen of karaoke.
down at the local pub.
Yeah.
But yeah, you saw directly just how it was like that one point, that little 3 minutes of bliss of them singing those words with the little bouncy balls and stuff, and
It's a ego boost.
yeah, you're like, maybe I can make it. I'm gonna make it.
Yeah, I can do a karaoke song but never feel good about it.
Yeah,
I don't even feel good about being in the bar when it's going on.
Yes, it feels awkward. It feels almost wrong because then you're at a point where you're like, good for you.
Well,
But if you don't, you're just a prick.
Well, I don't believe either one of us could ever be in a cult
Well, yeah,
or something like that.
I could start a cult.
But karaoke cult is definitely something that exists.
Karaoke cult.
Yeah, because
Each bar has its own karaoke cult, and then there's the leader, and they're like, she's so great.
but they're all supportive of one another.
Yeah, they are. They're nice.
And
No matter how bad you are, too. That's one good thing about
but
it.
you can walk through the crowd of the karaoke cult and look at them, and they don't know that you're walking through them because they're so transfixed on the karaoke in process that it's like being able to do a stopwatch and stop time and
Stop
walk
time.
through a crowd of people.
Like the Max Payne game.
Yeah, but it's this karaoke cult gaze stare, hypnotization of singing other people's songs and feeling good about
I
it.
just feel like it's a weird culture. It's like something that everybody has some kind of thing with, and there's those girls that are like, back in the day it was like, girls, I just want to go out and dance. Now they're like, I want to sing George Strait.
Karaoke is a perfect example of talent without creativity.
Well, I guess the best versions of it. But you can always be happy.
That's what it exists for, though.
Yeah, you got to be happy for the people
Even
that
though
put
Asians-
themselves out there. Even
Wonder
if
why
they're-
Asians love it so much when they can't sing a lick.
Because it's about putting yourself out there and having fun.
But it's not fun.
It is for people that don't do music.
But are those also people who love self-humiliation?
No, they're just throwing caution to the wind. They don't think that they're going to, the ones that don't go up there, they're the proper people thinking of that.
Would you think a karaoke person is the cuckold of the music industry?
Actually, There's more. There's worse. There's the guy that does the sound. So he's like, I was an engineer. I had a future.
Oh, man.
And now I'm working at this bar doing karaoke sound. Hey, wait. What's EQ? I don't know. Just turn it up or down. And
it always
drop
sounds
the
the
mic
same
in your
too.
beer.
It's always the same guy too. He's like, "Hey everybody, I hope you're having a good time tonight, Rhonda. That was a great job. Great job, Rhonda.
You should have teams of people up there. It'd be way more better.
Stacy singing Mudvayne.
Come on down,
Mudvayne. It's always the same songs too, because one girl will put in a song for like Before He Cheats, that country song. And
goodness.
And then you have a cat fight because there's 3 women who want to sing about their cheating boyfriend who's there at the bar. All 3 of them dated the same guy, and he's there at the bar that night because the karaoke guy is like,
see?
He goes up there and sings his Pearl Jam song.
Yep.
Jeremy.
Or he does an old classic because he's above you.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. It's a whole culture. People don't even really realize the complexities of it. It's almost like a society.
But that's how it happens, though. A perfect example of how it happens, because let's say Jace, the guy who sings karaoke at the...
Jace?
That sounds like a good country name that I see up there all the time.
Oh, okay.
Because the only guys that do it are going to sing either A, Frank Sinatra, B, they're Black doing an R&B song, or they're Jace singing the country song.
Or when I did karaoke, I did Dr. Dre.
You got sucked in, though.
I did G-Thing. I did both Dr. Dre and Snoop.
That's a perfect example. You know the guy who doesn't do karaoke does our goddamn rap song usually. The guy who does Big Butts or Beastie Boys song.
You don't know. Watch this. There was a guy in St. Paul.
I'm off track now. What was I saying?
You had a whole little thing. You did well.
There was something there, though.
You were talking about the culture.
Oh, the guy with the 3 women singing karaoke.
Yeah, see, that was good.
To him. Now, the thing is, though, he's going to bang all of them. They're all going to have kids. Yeah. And those kids are going to have kids. And that's the karaoke culture.
And it keeps going.
Continuing.
Yes. It's an infinite loop of self-deprecation. But hopes of things in a greener pasture on the other side.
You know what would be a more successful karaoke? I would enjoy it more? If they had a live band performing the songs for the people to sing. Then it would be a little bit more of a performance.
Well, yeah, but don't you think it'd be a lot cooler as an actual... I mean, despite how cool that actually would be if they were good, I think it'd be a lot more fun as if we had voting like mechanisms and we like made them feel terrible when they sucked instead of just saying, "Hey, you did great." Make people cry, start fights, make it like crazy. That would make karaoke awesome.
Well, that could be Vherbal and Watson's Rude Awakenings Karaoke Bar.
You suck. You suck. You don't suck that bad. That would be the level. Mm-hmm. Like, you would get all thumbs down and people would throw things at you. That sounds fun. We should, like, seek out investors.
Mm-hmm. Instead of exercise, criticize.
What? You thought of a tagline. Yeah. Company started. Website.
Rude Awakenings.
Rude Awakenings. You suck.
Karaoke bar.
Or you don't suck that bad.
Yep.
Things aren't that bad for you. At least you can drink enough Jaeger to forget that you have to go back to work at third shift at Walmart stock. And then go home to your 1-bedroom apartment that smells like cat urine.
Oh, man. Oh, gross. What's the worst? Now, being newly single, and you've been to a few different girls' houses, haven't you? Yeah.
Yeah. What are you coughing? You got a cough? You got a itch?
I'll just say that my lungs are reaching for greener pastures.
You sound like you got Ebola.
The Bola?
You got the Ebola.
I got the Bola weed disease.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I need those drum hits in there.
I'm gonna talk to somebody. I think we can arrange it. Post.
Yeah. That's the speak.
We'll make this whole segment in space as well, just for no reason.
Are we in space? We are.
We might be.
Technically, the whole planet is floating in space, so we are in space.
Now you're just that stuff's getting to your brain. You're getting real weird right now.
Oh, man.
Man,
come back
down. Did you ever
down.
think about the fact
Did you hear about the elevator to space that they want to do?
No.
They want to do a satellite. It might be a pre-existing satellite. No, the space station, I believe it is. they want to have a cord come all the way down to Earth, and they want to be able to use like a pulley type system, so they don't have to do rockets up there. They can just literally take it up there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I just heard about that recently.
Doesn't that sound like the Tower of Babel?
Sounds pretty wild.
I don't know much about religion, but...
Is there laws at a certain height up there? Like, are you technically in a country still when you're up a certain height?
I think that you may be needing to ask Google. But, I apologize. I don't know as much as Mr. Google.
That can be for next week's
Mr.
show.
Google.
Next week we'll do the laws of the country.
I forgot something awesome, by the way.
What?
Remember ChaCha?
ChaCha?
Yeah, the thing you would call and ask questions.
Oh yeah.
Okay, no, wait.
Yeah.
There was. This is two people now that didn't even know it existed. Now I'm telling them about the great days of ChaCha before we had internet.
Do you remember the weather station that you could call?
Oh yeah,
936-1111.
Yeah, it was time and temp or whatever.
Yeah, who calls just to know what time it is and how warm it is? You can look at your watch and go outside.
Well, that's just the advancements of technology. I'm talking to this girl and she's looking at me like I'm a fucking alien or something. I said we used to call a number and ask them ridiculous questions.
It was text, not call.
It was call or text?
It was text. In the beginning of text.
Oh, but nobody had internet on their phones. You could, and if you could go, you couldn't do it right.
But you had to do the text and number, remember?
I don't remember.
They might have had an internet site, but I remember the thing you texted it and then it texted you back.
I love that thing. That was great. You ask them stupid questions and you had to listen to an ad or got an ad on your phone, and so I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. I'll show this chick this. She won't think I'm fucking crazy anymore and like I'm delusional. So I go and look it up, and they still have the number.
Yeah.
But you can, when you text it, it's like, please use our app. Then you're like, okay, let's go to the app. Oh, it's just their website. And then you ask them, you can't ask them the questions like before. You could be like,
speaking of that,
how do you make brownies with drugs in them? And
that reminds me, though, while you're talking about advertising.
Yes.
One of the biggest parts of podcasting and actually being able to continue to do it and pay for ad space, on the internet and like have your stuff, like is the goal is to get an advertisement or two. Yeah. So we might let the listeners know, if we have any, that we might have an occasional fake ad or two in there as a showcase to other possible advertisers
from our Ferguson brand. Yeah, that we have created out of thin air, and it's some reoccurring thing. Like throughout my career, we created a company called Ferguson Industries, and we make all types of products that don't exist, and we make commercials for them, and it's completely pointless.
Yeah, and what's funny is it's more relevant nowadays too, because when it came out, it wasn't Costco wasn't even around here, and they have the Kirkland brand. And
really?
So Kirkland is
Ferguson and Kirkland are against each other.
It's kind of almost like a parody of that in a way.
I didn't even know that existed.
But it's funny to me because like Kirkland is odd in the way that like they make like denim jeans, garbage cans, ice cubes.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Tile.
That was the whole idea.
They even have a Kirkland truck.
Well,
a Chevy truck.
Ferguson had a fire dart, which was the rehashed version of a Thunderbird.
Yeah, so maybe, but on next week's episode, we'll have an ad or two, perhaps.
Yeah, the ads are fun. It's always fun to make fake products and completely ridiculous, and but that's just a showcase, And even if an advertiser did come to us, I mean, we could completely just make the ads, even if it was like that, because it's really fun. If you podcasters out there haven't done it before, creating fake products and making ads for them is very fun.
We all know that one person that takes karaoke way too seriously. The weekend superstar that yearn for the spotlight, only a depressing and empty karaoke bar can provide. And candidly, their happiness and sense of accomplishment is annoying. They're in for a rude awakening. Rude Awakening's karaoke bar is guaranteed to drain every ounce of hope and every shred of dignity from even the most optimistic tone-deaf diva. Our all-thumbs-down voting system will crush any drunken songbird spirit. They'll go from thinking they sound like Adele to realizing they look like her. And don't worry, Our greasy, unpleasant, and underqualified sound engineers will make their vocal sound so horrendous they may never speak again, let alone sing. So come on down to Rude Awakenings Karaoke Bar, grab some earplugs, have a beer, and crush people's dreams. Being newly divorced as well as you, I've had the luxury of being with a multitude of different women in the past year or so.
Indeed.
And I've discovered that catfishing is a true thing.
Yes.
And it's amazing to me. I mean, you're not going to fall for it, like go on an 8-month conversation and love somebody. I'm not talking about that catfishing.
Yeah, not that kind of stuff.
No, I'm just like, they send you a bunch of pictures and you go meet them at the bar an hour later, and it's obviously not the person that you just...
It's like 20 years ago.
Now, the one instance that has jaded me for life in this is, I'm not going to disclose her name. We'll just call her Mystery Woman or Girl X.
Fatty McFlop Tits or something.
It was interesting, though. The pictures that I received were that of a slender, cute girl. And when I showed up there, she was literally bursting out of the yoga pants she was wearing, and the shirt she was wearing was almost like a bed sheet that was like covering her body.
Or a curtain.
It was disgusting.
Maybe a curtain or a...
But being... I already went this far, and I'm horny, so, sometimes the male, urges get the best of you.
I feel like we've all been there at some point.
I just decided to have a drink with her and feel out the night and see how it went. But her story is what proved to be one of the interesting things is she had been hit by a bus about a few months prior to that in her car.
Okay.
And
flattened her out a little bit?
Well, it broke all the bones in her body. She said,
"Okay,
all of them, but she's healed.
She recovered miraculously, like Wolverine."
But the one side effect from this bus accident was the swelling. So underneath,
what? I don't believe that.
She saw
the cheeseburgers is what it was.
She was having a swollen day. She said,
"Wow."
Underneath all that fat was a skinny, cute girl that I saw in the pictures.
But you found it on the off day.
But I found it, just by chance, I got her on the swollen day.
I feel like you might have been catfished even in that.
Well, I was laughing at this by this point. The interesting thing was when I had picked her up, though, I had left my hat on the back of her truck. Because I had a cigarette outside the car when I picked her up because I didn't want to smoke in the car with her or whatnot.
What a nice guy.
But I left my hat on the tailgate of her big old truck.
Big old truck.
She had a 4x4 like Dodge Ram, like huge big truck.
Okay.
Interesting ride for this girl, but
like you said, she's traditionally slender. She was
so
on a swollen
after
day.
having a few drinks at the bar, I took her home, and I already knew I wasn't going to have sex with her. That was not even a plan or in the mindset, but I did have to take a piss. So I dropped her off, and I said, "Can I use the bathroom?" I got to grab my hat anyway.
Pissed on her house or something like I always do.
I walked into the house, and do you know what a Collier's mansion is?
No.
It's like those houses that have the papers stacked to the ceiling.
Sounds like a hoarder.
Yeah, like a hoarder, but it was like one of the ones in the movie where there's just like a corridor for you to be able to walk through.
Oh, it sounds like conspiracy theory with Mel Gibson.
Yeah, but do you know what her conspiracy hoard was?
What?
Old pizza boxes and other men's clothing, like from all the sex that she's been having.
All the endeavors.
Yeah.
That's the people she eaten.
There was just laundry baskets piled upon one another with food mixed into the clothing.
Oh, that's gross.
And little toys everywhere, but she had no kids.
Toys? Oh, okay, kids' toys.
Yeah, but they were for her animals. She had like 3 or 4 dogs that just shit and pissed all over the house. And I had to walk through the kitchen.
Sounds like it doesn't sound like a mansion.
Well, I had to walk through the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
To get to the bathroom.
Okay.
And as I was walking into the bathroom, I looked down on the counter, and there was a crock pot, right? And it was full, but it was gray. And so I just noticed it. But when I came back out, I lifted it just to just to see
Why
what it was.
Why did you do that?
Because I'm weird and
it's
I like
bad
to
decision.
see. But I lifted it, right?
You said it was gray.
Immediately
look at it.
Immediately upon opening this, you could see like the sealed vapors start to come out of there, and it smelled literally like the worst fart ever. And I asked her what that was, and she said that was Hungarian sausage she made about 3 weeks ago, and she just left it in there. And she said, "Hurry up and seal it back up before that smell gets out." And
she's a working girl, you know. She ain't got time to deal with pizza boxes or babies.
Oh my God! But so besides dodging the shit and the gray crock pot matter and all this, it was a very interesting.
Did you seal the deal?
I didn't touch her once. I promise you.
Did you seal the veal?
I didn't even seal the thing back up. I just kind of tossed the lid on the counter and
just
took off.
Attributed to the overall, like, you know, the aura of the place.
It was a festering sore of a home.
But
have you had
concerns about that? Well, you open the pot. You're just adventurous. You're like, what is this? This doesn't look like something I should open.
It looked like a jawbone of an animal with spider webs on it.
I thought you were gonna say she was cleaning her shoes or her socks. Like, that's how I clean my clothes.
No, it literally looked like bones and gray meat and
shoe stew.
Oh, it was the worst, man.
Oh my God, that's
so I would have
gross.
to say that was the worst experience.
That's the worst, though?
No, my last year of dating, yeah, seeing that. No, actually, I guess getting a gun pulled on me by a heroin dealer would have been worse, but that was more exciting.
You said the sex was good and the chick was hot, so I guess I get that.
Indeed.
So that kind of trumps it. You know, you got to deal with that kind of stuff sometimes. You got to deal with guns and Grand Theft Auto type scenarios.
It is strange, though, when you have a girl, and usually it would be baby mama drama, baby daddy drama, where the dad's like, "You ain't gonna get my woman. That's my child's mom."
Oh yeah.
Or you're not gonna be with my ex. That's my wife. You know, she's not gonna divorce me and be with you. You know.
Yeah.
It's very rare when the heroin dealer comes up and says, "You ain't gonna quit me, bitch. I've had too many people quit my drug." You know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That the girl that you said had the glass of vodka riding you?
Yeah, and she actually
sounds like a winner.
She actually didn't even she left with him.
Oh,
yeah, that night.
Well, he must have been slanging it.
It's interesting
in multiple facets.
He's an owner of a well-to-do car dealership, I've heard.
Sounds like a front. I'm no investigator, but let's go.
Yeah.
That's kind of. I guess if that's the worst you got, that's
not too good, though.
Stinky shit, yeah, I get it. You know, I'm from the trailers, so. And I'm from the trailers. I'm from Shacktown, Detroit. I mean, I've seen some shit. I mean, I've ate cereal that had bugs in it, and I just got the bugs out. Yeah, I've been in some grimy situations, but those aren't. I'm not going to say that's nothing that would deter me. It definitely would. I would definitely not think of the girl the same from that point. I was like, okay, this girl, for one, she's dripping. She's dripping, like her body's dripping out of her yoga pants from what you described.
Spilling.
I like dripping because I feel like her body is so like just liquid fat. And then she had pizza boxes everywhere, which I can't really hate super on that because I got 2 right now. But that's only 2, and that was just late night.
If we were building walls
purchases
out of pizza boxes, then it would be similar.
I've done this with beer boxes. I've gotten to that point, but I'm not a hoarder. I'm just a drunk. But the women thing, yeah, that would deter me. I hate to say it, but if she was fine, I don't know, man. I mean, I would check out how the bedroom situation was. If she had like raw, like roast beef on her bed.
If she was fine the first night, I would have gone in there and said, "You know what?
I'm gonna stand here. You give me head."
I would say let's play a game called House Clean.
I seen it on the internet.
Yeah.
It's the biggest thing. Oh yeah, that would be a good way to approach it. But if she was fine, yeah, I probably would have
Dress up like a maid and start cleaning, and
I'm into
I'll
that.
take photos.
She would say that. You know what I'm really into?
Into
it. I know we just met. This is exactly how you approach it. I know we just met, and I'm not trying to like throw this at you, but I'm really into maids and cleaning and not stench. No stench. I like good smells. And
every time you pick something up, my boner gets harder.
Yes. Make it a reward system. It's like similar to like a dog. You give them a bone. But anyways, that scenario, yes. I don't know. Like I said, if she was hot, it'd probably change everything. But that makes me feel like I've been through like hell and back, because I have like 5 that are way worse than that. But we're coming at different types of women. Because,
what would have been the worst one of this year?
Well, the worst one is definitely...
You can't count old ones. I'm not talking about in the past, because there's been some horrible ones in the past. I'm just talking about recently divorced new pussy. That's been bad.
All right, so you're saying 1 year.
Yeah, since you...
All right.
I've been divorced a little longer, or separated.
Okay, so... I guess the worst would be... Maybe it isn't as bad as that. Now I think about it, because it's recent. It's because we're talking about recent things. I did have a situation where, I had never met the person, and I'm kind of fresh off this whole being married thing, and I had a couple different, I don't know what you could call them, options. I don't really know what to say, what they would be described as at this exact particular day. And
women? You had a difference?
Women, yes, that's the word.
The choice between 2 chicks?
It was 4. But I was really like seeing which is most promising, which is going to pull this way, which is going to do that, weighing all the benefits.
You got a scoreboard.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's not like Along Came Polly, like benefit system type scenario. It's not like that.
I haven't seen that.
Well, you missed out on the reference. But I was pretty drunk, and I was thinking to myself, hey, I want the company of a woman. I just so happened to choose, no, this didn't really happen, by the way. I mean, if anybody's listening, that matters. But I just so happened to jump on the highway and drive 2 hours away to meet this totally ridiculously crazy chick, by the way. Crazy. And all I had was my clothing, obviously, on me. And I was like, oh, I got this Trappist Monk Ale. I thought it was going to be amazing. And I'm thinking to myself, this big-ass bottle, this will be enough. And I go there with just this bottle of this Trappist Monk Ale, because we had been talking about it for a long time.
Beer Christmas.
Beer Christmas.
Speaking of beer, it's National Beer Day.
Yay! And I'm drinking.
Can you do a reverb on that in post?
Yeah, it's attainable.
That would be amazing.
So I leave like as a totally irresponsible adult and jump on the highway completely drunk, and I go to this girl, and I don't even get there till like 3:34 something. I pull up and I'm like, where are you? Like I'm at the area that Google Maps said you're supposed to be. So she comes out, and woo, it was way bigger. I don't know if there was Photoshop or every aspect. There was a lot of pictures to go off of, too. There was even racy ones.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow she just had the magistry and the magicianship.
Never trust an overhead shot.
It was
overhead.
It was all different angles. That's why I was so surprised. She's talented on those facets. She's obviously been doing this a while. So I show up, and it's just like, best way I can describe it, Michelin woman. You know what I'm saying? Just like that kind of rolly kind of thing going on, like every aspect. And I'm like, I drove 2 hours, and I'm drunk as shit already. I go in there, and it's not just her, of course. There's a whole slew of people from this weird city that I've never been to, and a big party apparently. That's 4 a.m. No, I stay up really late.
So it's the redneck shindig?
Yeah, basically. So I go in there, and I sit there, and I'm sitting next to this girl. And by the way, the couch is just kind of like.
But they're all drinking what, like?
They're drinking
Bud Light.
They're drinking Bud Lights, yeah.
And
exactly.
you come
Good
in
way. With my Trappist Monk ale.
the rarest beer, the rarest beer of all. It's bottled by a monk in France in a monastery.
I wasn't even trying to be a prick about it. I wasn't showing up like
it's warm and it has like a.
It is. It has a cork.
Yeah. When you open it, like a spirit comes out.
Okay, so I didn't even address the fucking Trappist Monk ale. I was like, this isn't the time. This chick's looking Michelin. So I tried to sit next to her because either way, I'm like, something's got to happen here. I didn't just do all this for nothing. Got to get something out of the deal. So I sit there and talk with everybody, and I'm a socialite, and I can get people to like me for no reason. In every situation. So I go through, and she has her gay friend, she has her really ugly friend, and she's making out with her. It's like a really ugly girl and a big fat girl making out, like, woo! There's her sister.
Slow down.
She was like, my kid's gone. We can have a blast.
Wow.
So we keep going. We drink all the Bud Lights in the place. You know, there was quite a bit, and I just keep drinking. I'm like, I'm going to have to drink a lot to make this happen. I'm not even thinking about banging her because that's just out of the fucking plans. So I go, and she was like, I heard you do this and that. They start talking about me, and we're sitting in the kitchen, and this lady goes, oh, I got a bottle of fucking pineapple schnapps down in my car, and that's all that's left at this point.
No.
Like, I downed the fucking Trappist shit. I was just like, it's gonna take something. I opened it up, and I had this whole premise. I was like, this is going to be the best beer ever. Maybe it'll make everything great.
And it wasn't good.
It tasted like fucking wine and like fucking shit. It was terrible. Man. And it made me sad because I had added this vision of the Trappist ale being amazing.
Yeah, you had beer in mind, and this was not beer.
It wasn't. It had no carbonation. It was just disgusting. I even let people taste it. That's how much I didn't like it. Because if I liked it, I wouldn't let these weird people drink my fucking.
How much is that? $180?
Well, it was only for. It was like $40 for. I feel it's still stupid. It was like $40 for like I don't know, like a 60 or 40 or 60 ounce bottle.
Yeah, but a bottle of liquor costs that though.
It was still pretty expensive.
Some of the wine that I've seen costs upwards to $200.
So I'm sitting there with and by the way, I'm sitting next to this girl, and her couches aren't very good. And I'm ultimately.
What city was this?
I'm not telling you the city because that'll reveal the whole
thing.
Southern
Ohio, though.
Yeah, it was mid Ohio.
Oh yeah. So
I'm not going to reveal that because that'll. It's the kind of city where if I even said it, everyone would know. But
one of those.
I'm sitting next to her.
Backwoods towns.
I'm sitting next to her, and I'm not even purposely because
wait a minute,
the centrifugal force of her booty in comparison to the couch is forcing me to get closer to her, which is being misinterpreted as interest.
Real quick though, by mentioning the city, you think you'd be giving it away, but the Trappist monk party at 4 a.m. wouldn't be a dead giveaway.
Yeah, it might be something people talk about because I do tend to cause parties. Even if it's a very strange array of miscreants.
Well, speaking of the Trappist Monk beer and being National Beer Day, well,
I love beer. It's a wonderful thing.
Well, would you consider yourself a snob or just an aficionado?
I'm definitely not a snob. I mean, I've had my nights where I've drank 25 Coors Lights.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even that drunk. I just didn't feel good the next day. But I've also had my nights where I've drank like my own beer Christmas, which I held off on the Trappist Ale, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
You don't want it anymore. It's not good. Unless it's directly from the monks, maybe. But I've had my nights where I've just had like, I go to the local like Anderson's or something, like the beer place around us, and I'll just buy like 12 of the craziest beers that look to me like this looks crazy and I want to go on that experience. Some of them look like you're about to take like fucking shrooms or something, or that there's the ones that are like the Dragon's Milk Stout that I was drinking, 12%.
Oh, yeah. The barley wine, Flying Dog.
And the Flying Dog barley wine.
Oh, wow. 10.8%.
Yeah, it's always a fun experience. But I
remember back in the day, the highest beer you could get was Steel Reserve.
Oh, yeah.
Or Molson Triple X.
Oh, jeez. You could get different. I mean, obviously, we didn't know at that point. We weren't going.
We weren't
being beer snobs.
They weren't accessible.
I guess nowadays the new culture is to be an elitist about anything. So
yeah, because everybody wants to be different, so everybody wants to have a different beer at the bar.
Exactly. What are you drinking? Oh, I'm drinking this Imperial Robust Porter from the Riverton Brewing Company. Before, it's like, what are you drinking?
Busch.
I'm drinking Busch.
Old
Milwaukee's.
Natty.
I'm drinking whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm drinking your mom.
Oh.
In a cup.
Ooh.
Oh. But anyways.
Hey.
National Beer Day. Ironically, the day that we start our podcast, which will change the world forever.
Yeah, so now we can, what's the date of today?
I don't even know the date.
4:05.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. It's now 4:06.
It's the 8th.
It's the 8th?
It was the 7th when we started.
Oh, wow.
Time flies when you're a total douchebag.
Failure.
But on that note, we are going to take a break real quick and then come back.
Hello.
Does taking out the garbage and the disgusting piles of waste you produce seem tedious?
Yeah.
Is your cockroach-infested apartment filled with pizza boxes, crockpots containing 3-week-old Hungarian sausage?
Oh, no.
If so, then Ferguson Waste Removal is for you.
For me?
So what if you've been hit by a bus and swell up on occasion?
Ay.
Don't let your lack of hygiene and overall poor life choices affect your ability to get gangbanged by strangers from the internet ever again.
Ooh.
We will remove the animal feces from your shack carpet. No questions asked. And soiled garments, half-eaten rotisserie chickens are our specialty.
Hey.
So call us now. Ferguson Waste Removal. We pick up your trash because you are trashy.
Goodbye.
So, for the first podcast that we've done, I think it wasn't too bad of a ride for me.
Yeah, it was pretty fun, actually.
Yeah. Is there any upcoming things in your horizon that you got coming out? Any products?
Like business endeavors or something?
Yeah, any tours, shows? Anywhere people can see you?
Not particularly. I guess I'm going to be coming out with
your recent release of your new product.
Oh, yeah. We had the Music Weapons Pro Fat we just put out, and then we're going to be doing the Royal Archives that we're putting out. And
is there
also,
a web address?
musicweapons.com. Musicweapons.com is also something that you might have heard earlier in the episode, but we're going to be offering, mixing and mastering for specifically for people doing podcasts, because dealing with these types of things is, what I've dealt with projects of 128 tracks, and I could offer really low cost mixing and mastering, probably $20 per. Just getting good tones. If you can have the separates on your vocals and all that, and I'll make it sound real nice. I'm very good at this. I've had work with major labels as well as video games, movies, television. Vherbal, Anno Domini. That's who I am.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I might help. It might help everybody.
You have a lot of stuff on YouTube as well.
Yeah, the Vherbal of Anno Domini YouTube channel has been pretty popular over the years. I haven't really been addressing it much, but one thing that we're gonna do with this is, we're going to make a SoundCloud just for the Vherbal and Watson show, and because that's where we're going to initially host all the episodes. And
maybe we could get your boss on the show, Anno Domini.
Oh, of course. And
we can talk to him.
There's no doubt. He's in L.A. now, so.
Yeah.
We can talk to a lot of,
entrepreneur,
Yeah, we can talk
in the music industry.
Needless to say, I have a lot of really awesome people that we can talk to. We got Diabolic, probably. We got Cannabis. We can probably do a lot of underground dudes, but I'm not going to talk to them about their music because I feel like that's kind of cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk to them about their experiences, their lives, things that most people wouldn't ask them, and then also just overall funny people and just interesting and talented people.
Well, I'm going to try to get Steve and Jenny from Double Speak on here. We could probably talk to them about their tour that they're on right now.
The band?
They're from Chicago. We went.
Oh, yeah.
We went last 2 Fridays ago to see them.
Yeah, I got real drunk.
Yeah.
Tried to hit on that one singer.
Well, not only beautiful but talented.
Yeah, anytime there's a woman that sings and she's beautiful, it's over with.
Steve is an old childhood friend that traveled all over the country doing music and working for a lot of interesting people.
Yeah, we have
Let's not disclose too much. We'll let them talk about that themselves.
Yeah, you talk about it.
But right now, in the process of working on an EP coming out, and then we also have a possible audiobook or graphic novel in the works. We'll talk about that more in the future.
I mean, this wasn't the whole idea of doing these podcasts to me wasn't really of making one type of thing. There might be different types of podcasts that we come out with. Yes. And it's not just going to be the Vherbal and Watson show will be Vherbal and Watson sitting here talking, acting like morons or being deep.
Yeah, we don't know if we'll do other podcasts or just have additional content to go along with this.
Yeah, exactly. There's no reason to really pigeonhole everything because we just so happen to be in a situation where we have a pretty world-class I
would say this is a good
for us.
Introduction into the mind of us and who we are a little bit. It's just like a beginning step. This would be the cliff notes of our podcasting.
That went pretty well.
Yeah, I think that the next ones will be a little bit more just into topics instead of explaining things.
Yeah, we had to explain people. You don't just want to walk in and say, "Hey, I'm a kind of a big deal." You
Chapter
just
1.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went well.
By the time episode 2 comes out, maybe we can have a little bit of feedback.
Yeah, we're actually extremely way more goofy than we have been acting. We've been weirdly serious so far, but
I think a little bit it's a little bit hesitation on my part being talking on the mics,
not being used to
hearing your own voice played back to you is a strange
it's
thing.
fun though, isn't it? You've been having a good time.
Oh yeah,
you look like you've been when your eyes sunk in your head red as hell.
Yeah. It's amazing how something so green can make your eyes so red.
Oh yeah, good. And on that note,
I'm Ryan Watson,
and I'm Kevin Vherbal.
See you next time.